Welcome in, everyone. We got a big video here today. It's going to be the top 50 players in the game to end Season 1. So if you're thinking about any wild cards, anything like that, or a last day run in Ranked, here's my top 50 for you guys. Just keep in mind you get 4 wild cards by the time you get to the end of the XP path. So you can use 4 of these cards in Season 2. There's a couple cores in here. That might only be 1, actually. But I'm going to go through this top 50 and talk you guys through some of the guys, explain why some guys are where they are. But let's jump right into it. So top 10, we got Babe Ruth, Jimmy Rollins, Trevor Story, Adley Rutschman, Ketel Marte, Larry Walker, Willie Mays, George Brett, Posada, and Chris Bryant. I think this is the clear top 10. I think there's a pretty decent gap between the top 10 and then the top 20. I think, in my opinion, Rollins and Babe Ruth are the best 2 cards in the game. All of these cards are extremely valuable. There's probably pretty much one person. You can probably build a whole lineup with this team, probably. Don't know that for sure, but most likely you probably can. The guys I'm going to be wildcarding, in my opinion, is going to be Jimmy Rollins, Larry Walker, Willie Mays, and George Brett. Those are probably going to be the 4 I end up wildcarding when I get to 4. The reason for that is, at the moment, I don't have Story, Rutschman, Marte, Posada, or Bryant, so I'm not going to go spend stubs on that, because I have free cards that are just as good as them, in my opinion, maybe even better. So, and a lot of people are going to wildcard Posada and Rutschman, but I don't think it's that necessary. Unless you have them and you lock them in and you can't get rid of them. I think if you have Mike Piazza, he's going to be solid for you to use. Like, there's no reason, as long as you got the Dodgers collection done, there's no reason to wildcard one of these 2 when you can just use Mike Piazza. He's very solid. Let's go to 11 through 20 here. We got Mookie Betts, Andy Pettitte, Aaron Judge, Cliff Lee, Marcell Ozuna, Colson Montgomery, Jackson Chourio, JD Martinez, Honus Wagner, Edgar Martinez. So we got the first starters in here. I don't think any pitcher is worth being top 10. These are my top 2 pitchers in the game right now, Andy Pettitte and Cliff Lee. I would not wildcard any starters, in my opinion. I think Mookie is the best card in this range. I think if you want to put him in the top 10, I don't know who you would take out, but he can easily be top 10. The other guys, Judge, Ozuna, Martinez, JD Martinez, Edgar Martinez, they're a little bit lower because of their defense. It's just not as strong as some of these top guys up here. And Honus Wagner, people might think this is a little high for him, but he can play almost every position. He is maxed out speed, great contact, and has enough power that I like him a lot. He's one of my favorite cards. But yeah, everyone else, Montgomery, Chirino, they're just solid. They're all around players. They can do everything. They're very solid. Let's jump down to 21 through 30. We got Paul Skeens, Brian Roberts, Wade Boggs, Matt Carpenter, Josh Young, Brad Miller, Eduardo Escobar, Hank Thompson, Willie Stargell, and Harmon Killebrew. Now we're getting to the part where they all have some kind of weakness. For not all of them. Skeens, very close to Andy Pettitte and Cliff Lee. I think they're just a little bit better. That's why they're up top. Roberts, Boggs, both a little bit lower in the power category, but still solid. I like them both a lot. Carpenter, not the best at defense. Very solid bat. Josh Young is very solid. He's probably the closest one to being moved up just not quite as good as the top 20 in my opinion. Brad Miller, solid. Escobar, nice switch hitter. A lot of people like him. Hank Thompson, just a versatile guy. He's got solid stats across the board, and he can play pretty much every position. I think in the top 50 ranking of all players, the versatility is very important. And then Willie Stargell and Harmon Killebrew are just great bats, and they do have solid defense, basically silver defense. So they're both very solid, but very good bats, very good swings. So if you're looking for a good bat, these are two great bats. So we're going to go 31 through 40. Johnny Cueto, Garrett Cole, Robert Suarez, Jonathan Loizaga, Ryan Jeffers, Profar, Sano, Tom Glavine, Kerry Wood, Devin Williams. There's a lot of pitchers in this range. I will say Cueto, I've never faced him. I've never had him. But on paper, he looks absolutely insane. And I know he's got a little bit of funky release, so I really like Cueto a lot. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten a chance to use him, but he looks amazing on paper. Garrett Cole, I've never had him, but I faced him online, and for me, he's very hard to hit. I'm usually around like rank 700, and I've hit about like 300, 320 on average with my team. Face Garrett Cole, I struggle, man. I'm struggling to get runs. I'm struggling to get a couple runs across the board, so he's very hard for me to face. Suarez, Loizaga, and Devin Williams, in my opinion, the three best relievers in the game. I think there's a pretty decent gap between these three and the rest of the people. I think if I had to pick a number one, it's probably Devin Williams is probably number one. Jeffers, third best catcher in the game. He just doesn't have the switch hitting the other two have. That's pretty much the main thing with him. I think he's a little bit lower on the defensive side too. Jerickson Profar, a lot of people like him. He's just a little bit low on the power. His defense is a little bit lower than some of the other guys. So that's why he's only top 30 to 40. Sano, great bat, great defense. I think his one contact is just a little bit low, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's 97. It's not bad. And his vision's a little low at this point. It's very tight in the top 50, so you kind of gotta nitpick a little bit. Tom Glavine, Kerry Wood, both solid pitchers. They're in my rotation. I like them a lot. Not much to say there. Just Glavine's got a great mix. Kerry Wood's got that outlier. That's it. All right, let's get to the last 10 here. We got CC Sabathia, Estrada, Domingo, Mayer, Matos, Page, Buxton, Trammell, Yount, and LeMahieu. Sabathia, he looks great on paper. He is pretty solid. He gets hit every once in a while, so that's why he's kind of lower on the list. But he's still a solid pitcher. Like if you have him and you have him in your rotation, it's not gonna kill you. He is very solid. Estrada, probably he barely made this top 50, but he's good enough that he should be in here. I do think there's a pretty big gap between him and the top 3. So, I would say there's no lefty relievers in here. There's not really a lot of good ones. The best one I would say is that Aaron Bummer. He's only like at 89, but he still is the best lefty in the bullpen in my opinion. I just don't think he's a top 50 player, but I still think he's the best lefty in the game in the bullpen. It's crazy that I feel like they really didn't come out with anyone big in the lefty. So that's kind of where we're at with lefties in the bullpen. It's really Bummer. It's probably the best one in my opinion. Dahigo's just here for versatility. He can play every position, even catcher. Mayer's a solid shortstop. Matos, a very solid center fielder. Just a little bit slower, less defense. Satchel Paige has the funky delivery. Some people are able to hit him very well. That's why he's a little bit lower. But some people can't hit him at all. Like, against some people, he's the best pitcher in the game. They're never going to hit him. Byron Buxton, the reason he's this low, he's got great power, great fielding, maxed out speed. Just that lefty contact is a little bit low. It's only 91. That's literally the only reason he's down here. Trammell, Yao, pretty much the same player. Very good contact, good defense. Power is a little bit low. That's why they're down here. And then DJ LeMahieu's kind of similar. He's a little bit different, but same kind of thing. But yeah, this is my top 50. Like I said, I think this top 10 has a pretty big gap. You could put bets up here, but this top 10, in my opinion, has a huge gap down here. So if you're making a late run in ranked, I would say this is the best lineup you could possibly have. Can I move this around? I can. So like I would say catcher, you put Rutschman, first Posada, second Marte, short Rollins, third Story. It's kind of tough. This would be the outfield: Bryant, Mays, Walker. Put Babe Ruth at DH. Then I guess Brett's the outlier here. That would probably be the lineup I do. You could also, even if you want to put Brett in for one of the catchers at first, you could do that. But this is the best lineup in the game, I think. I think that's what you would run if you're doing a late run in ranked. The best cards, I think, are Babe Ruth, Rollins. I'm just going to rank the top 10 for you guys, in my opinion. I think Willie Mays is here. I think some people don't like his swing, but I really like Willie Mays. I think it might be Rutschman and Posada there, then Marte. I think it's this order. I think this is the order. Maybe Brett above Walker. I think this is the top 10 right there in that order, in my opinion. They're very tight. It's a very tight. It's basically on what swing you like better. It's basically what it comes down to. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. I think that's it. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Tomorrow I will be live on Twitch. Gonna be a long stream tomorrow. I'm gonna start about noon Eastern or 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna go to like 8 or 9, something like that. So stick around for that for season 2. I appreciate you guys. Leave a like and subscribe if you're new. I'm gonna be keeping up tier list for season 2. So keep an eye out for that. And that's gonna be it, guys. Have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you guys in the next one.